Okay. And I'm just using the microphone that's in the computer is the problem. You know, if I was going to do a real screen recording, you know, it'd be nice to have a mixing board and a real microphone, and it sounds real good. I know, you know, with my class, it's just the mic that's built into the top of this. It's okay. I know it's not the greatest. Okay, again, everything that we do is on Canvas here. So if you click on Canvas on the West Valley website, you'll notice you get to the Canvas interface. Inside there, you can log in with your student ID and then your password. And then if you hit login, it'll take you to the Canvas classes. Inside the Canvas classes, you should have one for digital video if you're enrolled. So the first week of class, I showed you some videos and things like that. The lab lesson was that you were supposed to look at the history of video. And so you really should be looking at more than just coming to class. This one just talks about the history of video. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of old. And then these links here is if you can't afford Photoshop, there is a free version of a Photoshop-like program application called GIMP. So the reason why I talk about Photoshop is that, you know, you got to prepare your artwork. If you're using a logo, you're using a photo, or you're going to make a title, you need to use other than just a video editing application. So that's why I talk Photoshop mostly, because it works with that. In fact, the title window that we looked at in Premiere last week, they're trying to get rid of. They just want to remove it. That's why it's called Legacy. If you noticed in the word, in the software, it said Legacy title, because they want to get rid of it. They want you to use After Effects, or they want you to use Photoshop to make titles. Tonight I'll demonstrate both of those. I'll demonstrate a little After Effects and a little Photoshop on how to make a title for a video. Okay, so just brief stuff. Okay, but again, if you can't afford Photoshop, there's one called GIMP. It does similar things. And then you were supposed to do a lesson for video review right here. And it's supposed to be due today, but we can change the date because some of you haven't completed yet, and I'm going to show you what you need to do for this. So let's change the date to next week. Well, it's a holiday. Remember, next week is a holiday, right? Next week, February 12th. No class next Monday. Right? Is it next week? Oh, it's 19th. Oh, damn. I thought it was next week. Shit. I thought we were going to have a holiday. Okay, so your homework's due next week. I thought we had a holiday next week. Bummer. Bummer. I was so excited about not coming next week. Okay, now we're gonna have to be. 19th is a holiday, right?
Yes.
You get an extra credit if you did it on time.
Okay, so you were supposed to do a video analysis assignment, and the whole purpose of the assignment is to learn how to make a screen capture. Okay, and I didn't demonstrate this last week, and I'm going to demonstrate it right now. So here is your video analysis assignment. You can click on, it's a Word document. If you click on there, it'll open up in Microsoft Word. So I basically wanted you to write a little bit about videos, and as you can see right here, well, I have to duplicate this. Oh, okay, sorry, these computers are locked down. I can't save this. Hold on. There we go. So I want you to write about your favorite movie and take a screen capture. See it right here. Screen capture of the movie, and then just write about it, what you liked about it. Maybe you can include a link if you find it, but this link doesn't work anymore because they took it down from YouTube. Whatever. Another great place where you can do research, of course, on videos is this website, this IMBD. What does this stand for? I don't remember. Internet Movie Database. Thank you. And so, of course, you can do a lot of research on there as well. You can find all your videos on there as well, all your old movies. I tend to like kind of movies from the 60s and 70s. That's when I was a little kid and I would sit and watch TV all day long, right? So, I don't know. What's that?
That link actually, the YouTube link works.
Oh, this one does?
Yeah.
Oh, it goes to the movie?
Watch custom game day playlists from top creators at youtube.com/adblitz.
It goes to the title, yeah. So, you know, I like this movie, and so what I want you to do is take a screen capture. So, if you are a Windows user, of course, there is a tool to make a picture of your screen called Snipping Tool, right? Anybody use this Snipping Tool? Okay.
Yes.
If you're a Mac user, of course, you can use the keyboard commands, Command Shift 4, Command Shift 4. So here, watch when I do it. Hold down again. Let's get to a good scene. Though I do like this scene where this guy has the water dropping on his head. Oh, I like that guy. Oh, I like that one. So this is a good scene right here. He's got water dripping on his hat. And he drinks it right out of the hat. But beside the point, I like this scene. And so I can hold down Command Shift 4. And the cursor changes to a crosshair. Do you see it right there? See how the cursor changes? And then I want you to draw a box around that. And what does that do? Well, it makes a screen capture, and then it puts it on your desktop. And so if you look at it, let's go to our desktop. It puts it right here. See it? It's in a PNG format. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about formats. Remember we talked about pixels before? So what is a pixel format? Well, JPEG is what you usually take with your camera, right? With your iPhone picture, it's JPEG. Well, another format, a very common bitmap or pixel format is called PNG. This is a PNG format right here. It doesn't say it, but it is PNG. But then you can take that into Word and you can write about your favorite movie. So that's what your assignment is about. You're supposed to write about 3 movies, though. Your favorite movie. Then, of course, since the Super Bowl was just there yesterday, we could write about, you're also supposed to write about a marketing video. So your favorite movie, Hollywood movie. Your second thing you're supposed to write about is your favorite marketing video that you find on YouTube or Apple. And this one was from Apple. Apple has a bunch of ads as well on there for their trailers here. So this one I liked, and so here's a screen capture. And then the third one I wanted you to write about was your favorite web, if you have a web series you like to watch. I don't know, you guys ever watch a web series? If you don't want, don't worry about the last one then.
Is this due tonight?
I changed the date till next week. Well, no, I know. I'm glad you did it, but some people didn't understand. That's why I'm explaining it to you. Okay? I know some of you've done it. I did see you submitted it. But some people didn't know how to maybe make a screen capture. Okay? And if you haven't seen this one, it's about Darth Vader is a manager at a store, grocery store. So it was funny. I thought it was a funny web series. So again, that's all you're supposed to do. Do it by next week. There's some information. There is a way to submit. There should be a submit button there. So that was next week. That was what I wrote for the first week. And then this one is, this guy talks a lot about shooting videos. So if you have time to watch this is a good video about the guy doesn't like, he's mad, he doesn't like the, what's the one, the superhero, Suicide Squad, yeah.
I liked the video, but my only complaint about that was he didn't offer alternatives.
Yeah.
To make comparisons.
Yeah, I know.
So without the video fresh in mind, I appreciate everything you were saying, but it was just kind of hard to.
I understand. So Suicide Squad, he talked about that. So if you have time, and then here's the list of the video projects that we could do for the spring semester, like I just told you, from last week. Again, we could do a ghost story, but we gotta do it soon. I have a haunted house, but the woman who runs the haunted house is going to quit that job. She doesn't like it, and she wants to try another job. So she runs a haunted house. So I don't know. We'll see. If we want, we can make a haunted house video. Of course, you can watch my videos and like those ones. And then, of course, the fashion show is going to be out there. They still would like, if you want to, shoot video of the people working on the clothes, and then project them onto these windows during the fashion show. I thought that'd be cool. Or you could make maybe an animation or something. I don't know. What they would love to do for the fashion show, which is going to be May 5th, we would have to have everything done and prepared, and so their idea for the fashion show, which is going to be out here in this main area out here, would be that we would put a screen up there and then do a projection. And I'll bring my projecting master, Ben Wood, who's done lots of projections. We'll get him to come and help us if you want to do something like that.
Who's a good contact in the fashion department?
We're going to start on Friday, and we're going to go to the class.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So
This Friday?
I haven't confirmed that yet, but I will send you an email when we will start that. So their day for that class is on a Friday, which is good because most of my stuff isn't on a Friday, and I'm in here in the classroom. But you know, I come on Fridays. I'm usually here on Fridays anyway, so you know, we can have equipment available. You can go in there. We just need to go to the class and explain that's what we're going to do, so that the student who, and you maybe pick one student, maybe you pick one student that you work with through the semester, like take some photos of them working, or maybe shoot video of them, and we would then shoot projected onto the window as their fashion show. What do you think about that? That'd be kind of cool. Uh huh.
Is this a personal project? Okay, that's what it is. Is this a personal project or class project?
Either or. What I meant by that is we could go to the fashion. They're gonna have a fashion show on here, and one of the ideas of last week was that we would project, like I said, onto the windows here as the fashion show is happening. And so, you know, yes, it was kind of a class project, but no, not all of us have to participate, and some of us could be doing that kind of on your own. Is what I meant by that. And that, you know, we're not going to edit together. I mean, it would be great to have a common theme to it, common color, and we can talk about those things. But, you know, I think my goal would be that we would go to the class and maybe we integrate with them in their fashion class, find out who's going what, and maybe, like I said, you can maybe just do one student, right? Yeah, you could be like your student for the semester. You know, so it wouldn't be necessarily the whole class kind of thing. I think it would be more of that. So I think a lot of things that we do, you might need to do on kind of, you know, be a little initiative. So I don't know about this Friday. I just got an email today from them. They're meeting on Wednesday, and I can't go to that class. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that was one idea, was the fashion show. And then, of course, one of your major assignments in this class is to do an interview of a person. I'll demonstrate next week how to do an interview. I'll bring a little light, so that interview you wouldn't have light, or we'll talk about using natural light as well. And then microphones. I didn't bring any really microphones today, but they do have microphones at the library for you to check out. So next week I'll get those so that we can look at the microphone that they have that you can use. And then here's what I thought would be a good interview is we're going to have an artist series, an artist speaking series here on campus. And so here's the months these people are going to be here and the dates these people are going to be here. A lot of them from overseas. They're here for you, right? They're here for you. They would be willing and love for you to interview them, okay? There's a whole bunch of them here. And you can see them right here. So they're here to be part of your education here. I don't. Hopefully, you know, a lot of them are from overseas, so hopefully they speak some English or something. Or if not, we could do subtitle. I don't know. But you can maybe look at these artists. There's links to their stuff, and maybe you think, hey, that might be a cool interview, right? And so you can do it here on campus. Do it outside during the day. These artists will be here on campus during these times. It's the times that they'll be here. All we need to do is set up a time, be great to, you know, do some planning, see what their art is, write some questions. Maybe next week we'll come up with questions. I do a lot of interviews myself, so I'll tell you the kind of questions I kind of ask. Watch, you know, news things on TV and what kind of questions. I used to ask people to watch, what's his name? He's now been banned. The guy with a total. No, Charlie Rose, yes. Yes, Charlie Rose. I used to, because he always had really good interviews around the table and stuff. I always thought that was good. In fact, the other important date you're going to need to know is April 13th. I have a guest speaker, video speaker. It will be here on campus, in the campus center, the main building. The main guest speaker will be Brian Mock. He is a Oracle. Yeah. Oracle. He runs the video. I think it's Oracle. It's either Oracle or Cisco. I can never get it right. It's either Oracle or Cisco, but he runs the TV station. They have a video, in-house video station. But he used to work at National Geographic, and I remember because I told the students, hey, watch Charlie Rose for lighting. I remember he remembers that. That Charlie Rose, that was a good idea. I looked at that Charlie Rose, and that's a good lighting. Just the way they liked it, the interview lighting, with the black background, right? Yeah. It's all black, and so it's just a talking head kind of thing. It's unlike, the people that put the ugly ferns in the interview and stuff like that, right? And then the last thing, if you really want, we can do a tour of a TV station, and then you can hook up with Crate TV downtown. Anybody heard of Crate TV? It's in downtown San Jose. I've had several student intern. In fact, Brian Mock, the guy who's going to come and talk, he actually interned down there at the TV station before he moved on to other bigger and better things. So we can actually do a tour. I used to do it every semester. Last year we didn't do it. The year before, I think we did go down the year before. Last year we didn't go, but the year before we did. And then if you do want to volunteer too, I have the contact for the CineQuest. The thing in, I have to just find her email, and I'll email it all to you. All you have to do is email her and say, hey, I'm a student, because she wants you to be a student. I'm a student of West Valley. I'd like to volunteer for CineQuest, and then, you could be an usher in the aisle, even just simple things like that. Hey, get in and watch the movies for free. CineQuest, movies for free. So I'll email you that. So there's a whole bunch of things you can do. That's all I'm trying to say. You just need to keep in touch.
On the interview, the interview has to be one of those people? Or
No, you can interview anybody. I'm just giving you an opportunity to interview one of these fabulous artists that I have not met yet. But they'll be here on campus. They're coming and talking. They would be willing to even come to your class. So you don't have to interview them. So next week I'll go over the interview, and we'll edit an interview next week, even though I thought it was a holiday.
Whatever you say, edit it up. So you want us to have an interview already ready by next week?
No. What I'm trying to say is we're going to do a demo interview of either somebody in the classroom, or we can use a previous one that I've done with a previous student, okay? And we'll use that as how I would edit it. I've had some really good interviews last semester, some really good ones. It's something that you should, strive to do well, is what I'm trying. Here's artists that use video in their art. So there's a list of artists that use video in their art. Here's my slideshow assignment. It says due February 19th, but that's a holiday, isn't it? We'll have to change the date for that one. So let's go down even further, 26. So you got 3 weeks to make a slideshow assignment. How about that? Pictures with animation and sound. That's all it is. I'm going to demonstrate that right now. That's what we're going to do right now. Okay? Pictures, animation, and sound is all it is. Not video. We'll do video next week. You can do it in HD or 4K. I will show you how to change that. How it's done is you take a series of images and import them into Premiere. You can download and import sounds. Sync the sound and images in Premiere, export video in Premiere. Here's some samples from these are previous student samples. A lot of students do music videos. This one was pretty good. I like this one. I know it's stolen music. It's okay. We're just doing it for learning right now. But I thought this student, she did a lot of Photoshop work. Here's the animation where you can blend pictures together. You can see that where she's zoomed in. Then she's photoshopped, of course, the spider web over her. This is her, the student. And then she does some, as you can see, the picture, scaling the picture. Lots of big graphical images. And that's a very personal kind of song, right? So she's using personal images of herself. And then she has some little animation going on in some places like this. It's a transition. We'll learn how to use transitions tonight. So there's simple effects like this. And then she uses colors, as you can see. And then her timing is really good in that she timed the pictures to change to the music. So let's kind of get towards the end here. So here's probably the best timing of so the music changes with right here. And so she just tries to on the little, you know, the beat there a little bit, change the image. And it took her like 3 weeks to do this. I watched her. She sat in a lot of Photoshop images and things like that. So, you know, that's kind of an example of what I'm looking for you to do. And then I think you saw some of the other ones last week. Here's some, you know. And so it's the important thing is you're learning a little of the video editing software and you're syncing up to music and then and things like that. Is what and there's some older ones. This one is probably almost 20 years old. This is probably from 99, 2000. And so this one has somebody talking in it.
I heard a fly buzz when I died. The stillness in the room
So
was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. The eyes
so this one had some sound effects.
had run them dry, and breaths were gathering firm.
As you can see, old school format.
When the king be witnessed in the room.
So that was a kind of interesting one, I thought. And then this one was kind of a love story. Or no, this isn't a love story. This is I think I showed you this one. This one has a lot of images changing very quickly. Okay, you get the idea. So blending images together like that, we're going to do that right now. So if you have your own pictures, you can use those. If not, let's learn how to steal from YouTube properly. So so think about that. We're going to go. So here's how we steal from YouTube, or not YouTube, I meant Google. So we wrote the dimensions on the board, right, as far as the size. And let me get to making sure. Hold on, let me get to the sizes. So in this link on Canvas right here where it says main reading for class right here, there's a book right here to one of the cameras I have over here called the Panasonic. But it's basically, though, a giant PDF that has a lot of concepts, video concepts. So I'm not going to download and read that to you right now, but what I do want to show you is that this one has the different sizes for video. And so if I open this up right here, oops, we got to make it readable here. So don't disregard this stuff over here for right now. You don't need to worry about that. The most important thing is the sizes over here. So as you can see, standard high definition is 1920 by 1080, and then the 4K is up there. The 3840 by 2160 is YouTube. Okay, so if you want to put a 4K YouTube video, this is the size you will make your images. And you can make your images that size if you want. Okay, so if you write that down, 3840 by 2160. Not the top one. This is the one YouTube uses. Here, I'll show you a sample. Let me sign into my account real quick here.
That's what makes 4K, which you just said 3840 by 21.
Yeah. So yeah, here's one of the latest videos I made. And then if you look at the on YouTube, if you play it, you could see right here the quality
Finding metal pipes in live AC
right here, the 1440.
is easy with the Zircon Metalli scanner, M60C metal and AC scanner. The M60C has 2 scanning modes and features the advanced color trick display that like
So where was my dimensions? Yeah, see, this is, I don't know why it says 1440. This is the size that I normally edit at. So it looks like they're saying this, but oh, okay. So that's why I shooted this though, is what I'm trying to say. I actually shooted that in the camera. So I have to use Google Chrome to get it to be the high definition? Is that what you're trying to say? So not on, what am I in, Firefox? Okay, let's try it then. I like this video. Oh, really? Yeah, here's the 2160
metal pipes in live AC
right here.
is easy with the Zircon Metalli scanner, M60C metal and AC scanner.
So the
The M60C
2160
has
right
2
here.
scanning modes
And you
features
can see the
advanced
quality,
color
you know, nice and sharp, crisp. You guys remember TV back in the 90s, right? Some of us maybe remembers. And so,
trick display that lights blue.
so I
and
shoot
metal
with
scanner
the,
to help you find non-ferrous metal.
this footage is all shot with the Sony R3. Is it called Sony R3? Yeah, 7R3. Yeah. And I think the biggest challenge with that, of course, is the focus. Getting it to focus right. So that I find challenging. Okay, but I just pointing it out. I think that's the correct dimensions that you would use. I think I am shooting at. So if I'm making my, I think this is the dimensions that it shoots at right here. So I'd probably shoot for that. Or do the high definition is fine right there, 1920 by 1080. So if I'm on Google, let's go to Google right here. And I want to steal a bunch of pictures of Google that are the correct size. If you go to images inside of Google, and I'm going to do, I was thinking of doing a carnival, a Colombian carnival. Carnival. Has Carnival. There you go. So if I go and search, you'll notice on Google Images, it'll bring up a bunch of pictures, but as I roll my mouse over the pictures, notice how they're all in different dimensions, right? They're all in different dimensions. But since know what's going on, we know how to use Google, we can go to Tools inside of Google. We can go to Tools here, and then I can go to where it says Size right here. See where it says Size? And inside of Size, I can say Exactly right there. See where it says Exactly? Again, Google Images, Tools, Size, and then I can type in 1920 by 1080, and I can hit go. And boom, you're going to get images. Now as I roll my mouse over, you'll notice, and of course this is a common size, you can get the images in the right dimensions. So if you like a picture like that, you could click on it, and then of course if you want to download it, you could right click on it, oops, or you can right click or control click, I'm holding the control key down, save image as, and you can put it on your computer. I already have some pictures. So, ooh, look at that one.
Can you show how you size the images?
I'm going to demonstrate that in a minute. So this is all the correct size right here, but of course you want to use other than the right dimensions, right? So I'm going to download a couple of those and I'll show you how to make them the right size. Yes?
You mean when you type it under the two, you type the dimension?
Uh-huh.
So you're saying that only the picture with the dimension can show up?
Yes.
Okay.
You're limiting the search to the size,
Oh,
right? The size is now formatted for 1920 by 1080.
so you cannot turn a lower resolution thing into this?
Well, no, but I'm just showing you, these are going to fit properly in my video frame. If they're not fitting properly, they're going to have black on the sides, right, or on top and bottom, right? Yeah, you've watched the video where the pictures are going like this maybe before, right? You want to try to avoid having pictures going, so make them the right size. I will show you how to do it in Photoshop. So let's download a couple that are not the right size, and we'll make them the right size in Photoshop, right? Okay. So let's download a couple that are not the right size. Another way you can search in Google would be, instead of doing exactly, you could just say large. Well, how about 2 megapixels? There you go. Okay, so these are not in the right dimensions, as you can tell when I roll the mouse over. Right? That's not the, well, that's kind of close, but it's not quite right. It's a little blurry. I don't know if I'm going to use that one. Oh, it's still downloading. It looks like a good picture. Carnival season's coming up soon. You got to get your carnival action going on here. And the reason why we use Colombian, because my wife is Colombian, so that's why we use Colombian in our videos. You'll see a lot of Colombia videos. I like shooting in Colombia. There's lots of colors and action going on down there. Okay, so this is the wrong size. Let me call it wrong size.
What size did you get? More than two?
I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like 3072 by 2048. Okay, so you can use other sizes. I'm just pointing out. Ooh, this is kind of cool. What is that? An elephant? There we go. So I'm going to download this one. It's probably not the right size either. Okay, so I got a bunch of pictures. Okay, so let's talk about resizing them properly in Photoshop, and then we'll bring them into Premiere, and we'll sync them up with some nice carnival music, and then we'll make a cool title, and we'll export it out for YouTube, and we'll be like, woo! And then we'll go over the cameras. And by that time, we'll go home. Okay? So let's start, and then we'll take a little break as well. So again, I've downloaded some pictures. Here they are on my computer. Right here. There they are. You can see them. Some are in the right size. Some are in the wrong size. Wrong size. Wrong size. So in order to make them the right size to fit my frame of video, I can use a program like Photoshop. So to open Photoshop, it should be in your dock down here. If it's not in your dock, which, oh, it's not in my dock down here. Why is it not in my dock? What is it downloading here? Hold on. I have to, let me log out of my account here. What is it? Oh, it's downloading a new version, I guess, of Firefox. I don't know. I see this downloading, and whatever. So Photoshop is not my dock down here. So in order to put Photoshop or Premiere, so you notice we have Premiere in the dock down here in Photoshop. All the applications are located. You can go to the Happy Mac. See the Happy Mac in the lower corner of your dock? If I click on that, it should open up a window like this. And if you click on Applications right here, see it says Applications, you'll notice I have all my software applications. If I want to put Photoshop in my dock, I can find Photoshop 2018 right here. If I open it up, you'll notice it'll have the application right here. If I click and hold the application down, I can drag it into my dock, and it'll always be down here now. Same with Premiere. Since we're going to be using mostly Premiere in this class, you can go and drag Adobe Premiere, if I could find it. Oh, here it is, PR right here. Open up the folder, grab the application, and drag it down. It's already in the dock right there. That way you have the applications ready, right? Okay, so if you have them down there, let's use Photoshop to resize the image. I'm going to click on Photoshop now. Right here is Photoshop. It opens up. Again, we're using the version of 2018. Now there's a couple things we can do inside here. We could resize our picture as well as make a title. I'm going to make a title in Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to do two things in Photoshop right now. One is to make the picture the correct dimensions, and the other one is to make a title. So let's make the picture in the correct dimension first. To do that, you open up the picture. To open up a picture in Photoshop, to resize it, you go underneath File, Open, File, Open. And then, of course, you need to find your file. My files I put on the desktop under Desktop. And I have a folder called Carnival. And inside there, remember I called them wrong size. See, that one's the wrong size. So I'm going to open that up. And so now, there's a couple different ways of resizing images inside of Photoshop and stuff. But I found if I'm going to make something the correct size, I like to use the crop tool. The crop tool is located over here in the toolbar. This is the toolbar in Photoshop right here. It's called the toolbar. There's one, it looks like this. It's called the crop tool. It's the third one down left side. Or you might have Photoshop in one big long line like this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down if it's like that. Or you might look like this, like that, like this, like that, like this. Whatever way you want to look at it, you're going to use this one right here. If I click on that tool, you'll notice at the very top up here, you can say ratio, or you can change it to width and height right here. See that? Width and height, or ratio, width and height. So I'm going to change it to width and height. And of course, what is the width of high definition? 1920. And make sure you put in the word px in there. It might think you want inches, but remember we're doing pixels, right? Pixels. And then what was the height? No, that's width. This one's width. W is width. And then height is what? 1080. Make sure you put in pixels. And you'll notice right away that the dimension starts to crop. See how the window has changed, right? Notice how you got a little dark on the side and the dark on the top. So it's basically cropping the image to be the right dimensions. And so if I go and I I can move this window around if I want. You can move it around. You can make it smaller. See how you can move it around? Maybe, you know, we want this nice picture kind of like that, where she's looking at, that's nice and balanced there, right? So you can move the window around. When you're all done getting it to do what you want to do and you say, hey, that looks like the right dimensions that I want to do, you hit the move tool, this one right here, move. And it'll ask you, hey, do you want to crop the image? And you say crop. Again, I click on the first tool right there and it's ready for me to save. So again, what format could I use in this nice image that I have here? Well, I can use JPEG, I can use PNG, and I can use so on. Okay, yes?
We're going to talk about a little bit about the advantage and disadvantage of certain format like PNG and JPEG later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, both. The PNG has a little bit, well, the advantage of the PNG is you used to be able to apply a color profile to it. Color profile, which means that if you apply the same color profile to all the images, they'll all be in the same color space. Where JPEG didn't have a color profile. It was more important for a color printer that you have the proper color profile. Like if I'm going to go to that color printer in the back, I can attach a color profile for that printer so that when I see the colors on the screen, they'll print out the same color. That's the purpose of really the color profiler. For video, not too much. JPEG, they have a transparent layer. So when we go to make a title, it's going to have to be PNG. You can't use JPEG because in PNG I can have a transparent layer. Because we're going to put the title over top of this picture, right? The PNG can have a transparent layer to it so that you can blend it over top of something where the JPEG you can't. So that would be the advantage. Okay, let's save this. And this is now right size. How about that? JPEG's fine. Oh, wrong color space though. Look at this. CMYK. Do you see that? No. We really should be doing everything in the mode. So if you notice that this is actually kind of the wrong color space. This is a printing color space. And I know I didn't talk about that, but I didn't realize that until I just saw that right there. CMYK is printing. So you might have color shifting. You bring that into Premiere, the colors may change a little bit because it's in the wrong color space. So yeah, there is color problems already here. Okay. To change it, you go underneath Image, Mode, and you want to be in RGB, red, green, and blue. I didn't see much change. Let me save it again.
I'm sorry, which command do you use
To change the color space is under Image Mode.
image mode?
These are the most common. Don't use index. Oof. Don't use grayscale. These are the two that you would want to deal with. Any of these other ones, if you try 16-bit channels, that won't let you import, or 32-bit channels, that won't let you import. Just 8-bit channels in one of these. Okay, let's make a title. Now, again, they're trying to get rid of the title window inside of Premiere. I know they're trying to get rid of it because they have the title. And so we can look at the title window again because we did it last class. Didn't we make a title last class, right? I think so. But today, why would I want to make it in Photoshop? Well, you got all the great Photoshop tools, right? You got all these cool features, things like that. And so to make a title, I'm going to go under File, New. File, New. And I'm going to choose the right dimensions. Now, one of the things you'll notice inside of Photoshop is they have a film and video option in the upper right corner. If you look over here, you'll see it says Film and Video under File, New, right? I went under File, New. It says Film and Video right here. If I click on that, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to give you the common sizes. And they have a whole bunch of them there. A couple 4K ones here. Old school DV. Look at this, 720 by 480. Woo, old school. They have some film ones here. 8K film right there. 1892. I remember the first time I made an 1892 image was I had a film recorder that could that could. It never worked right. It was my 2K and 4K turned out better. But of course, the first one they have right here is the high definition, which is probably the most common to use. You see it right here. And if I want to be able to put this on a transparent background so that my text can blend with what's underneath it. Notice right here where it says white background. Do you see that right there? We don't want white. If you click on the option here, we're going to say transparent right here, so that the text I put, then I can blend with my picture or my video footage or whatever I want inside of the video editing application. So again, in Photoshop, I'm going to make a title that's the right dimensions, and it's going to have a transparent background so that I can blend it with my picture. And I hit create. And you'll see the checkerboard pattern. That checkerboard pattern says it is transparent. The other thing you'll notice inside here is it has these lines in here. And these lines are common video lines. We're not too concerned about them as much as we used to be. The outside line used to be called the overscan. If you remember the old television from back in the 80s and 90s, the video image was larger than the visible area. And so they used to call this overscan. And then this line right here was called title safe, and it's saying, hey, your title's getting close to the edge. But nowadays, since we're using YouTube and other streaming platforms, it usually goes all the way to the edge. Okay. But if you remember, the video used to be bigger than the visible area on your old TV. Just remember old TV? We used to have a black and white television back in the 70s. I had a color one that wouldn't show color unless you hit the floor. You'd pound on the floor and it would jump and it would turn into color. You guys ever had a TV like that? Some of us probably did. Okay, let's make a title. Of course, title was text. You'll notice in Photoshop there is a T right here for Texas. T for Tennessee. You hear T. So I'm going to click on the T there. And before I even draw any text, I can choose a font up here. So again, I chose a T for text. You'll notice there's a font up here. So you can download fonts if you want. Of course, the best place to download fonts would be dafont.com. Nice free place to download fonts. dafont.com. Da font. So probably the best place to get fonts, free fonts, dafont.com. And I have some tutorials on how to download and install them for you if you want to see that. They're on my YouTube channel. Yeah. Pretty much every one of my computer science class, I teach them how to do that. But you could just choose a font. Since we're doing Carnival, I'd like to have a nice Carnival font. Here, I'll show you that anyways. Geez, here. Let me quit Photoshop. Don't quit your Photoshop. Let me just show you real quick. dafont.com. I'll demonstrate. And what are we doing? Carnival. Carn. Hey, help me, Carn. A-V-A-L-E. Carnival. No. Carn. I-V-A-L-E. Is that Carnival? Yes. Carnival? No. How do you spell Carnival? Somebody help me. C-A-R what? I-V-A-L-E? C-A-R-N-I-V-A-L-E. That was missing an N? No E at the end? There we go. Carnival. Okay, so if you say, I like this font right here, this one looks cool. First thing I'm going to look at is maybe, you know, is it free to use? This one's 100% free right here. Or do I need to donate? This one's 100% free. This one says free for personal use. And I don't know. Top one doesn't even have a copyright information, but I can download this, I guess. I can save it to my computer. So again, there's a whole bunch of fonts. You can look them up. DA font. They have a whole bunch of wonderful fonts. You got all kinds of, you know, look at all this digital. Look at all this crazy stuff. Modern fonts. Look at this one. Okay, so you have all handwritten ones. Okay, so you can download these. How do you install them? If you are using a Mac, like we are using a Mac now, you find it downloaded somewhere. Where did it download? It went to downloads. Here it is right here. It's compressed file. I uncompress it and it'll give you a TTF file. The TTF stands for true type file. If I double click on it, it's going to say, hey, do you want to install and use this font? I could say install font. Yeah. And I can double click on this one, install that as well. Make sure you click on the little checkbox if it gives you an error message. So again, they're very easy to install. Fonts on the Mac. Windows, all I do is I drag it into the font folder. If you are a Windows user, you probably know there's a font folder.
Do you know where the font folder is?
No, it depends on the Windows you're using.
I see.
I'm sure you can find a font
Okay.
folder, and you can install fonts in there. So the font won't be available to software if it's running. That's why I quit Photoshop. So I have to start Photoshop again because the font loads when the program loads. So if you try and install a font while the program's running, it's not going to be available to the program until you restart the program. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's make our title. Again, I was working on what? This one right here. There we go. Title. So again, you can choose your font. I made a Carnival font, didn't I? Carnival. Oh, here it is. Carnival. So, and then here's size. If you want to know what size fonts are, the standard very bottom size, the one that says 72 there, is equal to 1 inch. Now, I know we're using pixels, but just keep that in mind that the last one in this list, 72, is 1 inch. Then, of course, here's color right here. You can choose a color. This is alignment if you want to click on it and have it type. So, again, I did 1 inch. I chose a font, 1 inch. And I'm going to leave the blue. It's kind of cool. And I'm going to click in the middle of the screen. And I'm going to type in Columbia. Uh-oh. Why am I not getting... Uh-oh. That didn't work, did it? Maybe that font is no good. It's not the best site. Look, it only shows the first letter. Why is that? Oh, there we go. Oh, but it's open. It doesn't have any... Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to use this font. I'm just going to use a plain ugly font. There we go. Plain ugly font. Carn, C-A-R-N-I-V-A-L. I'm going to put E in there just for fun. And, oh, we were supposed to do Columbia, right? To change the size, if you want to change the size of your text, I'm going to make this a little darker. There we go, some ugly blue. To change the size, you can use this tool right here, the Move tool right here, this one. If you click on it, and make sure it says Show Transform Tools right here. So again, Move to Show Transform, you can scale it to whatever size you want. I'll show you that again. Again, to change the size of your text, if you use the Move tool, this one right here, it's called Move tool, and you say Show Transform Controls, Move tool, Show Transform Controls, you'll see you have these little dots that go around the outside. Do you see them, little squares? And you can change the size by clicking and dragging. And then, of course, if you want, there's a whole bunch. You should learn Photoshop a little bit so that you can give yourself some nice, cool fonts where you can change the colors, maybe use a gradient. There's some effects you can apply. You can apply a stroke to it. And there's a whole bunch of effects you can do in Photoshop to text. But my whole point is I'm going to save it. That's all. Now I could either save as the Photoshop file and it'll keep that transparent layer, or save as a PNG and it'll keep that transparent layer, but what I can't save it as is a JPEG, because then it won't be transparent anymore. So I'll show you what I mean by transparent. So I'm going to save, file, save as, and I'm going to call it my title. I'm going to put it in my folder. See how I have a folder right here? I'm going to put it in there, and it goes in there. So I know it's a lot of steps. Photoshop is not easy to use. But again, all I did was make a file that was the right dimensions with a transparent background. I used the text tool to click on the screen and type in some text. I changed the size of the text using the move tool, which is here, making sure the show transform controls is selected. Allows me to change the size of the text to whatever size I want. When I'm done changing the size, just click on the move tool again and it'll apply it. And then I saved it as a Photoshop file by going under File, Save As. Okay, let's go to the video editing, but one thing you might want to get is some music, right? I want some music before I put my pictures together. So I'm going to quit Photoshop here. And I'm going to go steal some music. Great place to steal music. Of course, we looked at some of that last week. Didn't we do, did we do SoundCloud? Did we do SoundCloud? No, I don't remember what we used last week. I'm going to steal some music from archive.org. So in archive.org is a website that you can get music from. Some of it is copyrighted, some of it is free to use. It just depends. You have to read the license. And so archive, archive.org, you'll notice there is a search box down here towards the bottom. And I'm going to search for music. So you'll notice there is an audio option for searching right here. See where it says audio? Again, the website is archive, archive.org. There is a audio search box right here. Oh, I clicked on it, but then where's my search box now? Oh, here we go. Search right here. And we're going to do what? Columbia. And let's hit search. And you'll notice you have a whole bunch of songs. If you want them, you can listen to them. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound like music to me. Where's some music? Some music. Is this music? This looks like talking, isn't it? Yeah, talking. We need music. Colombian waltz. Whoosh. Whoosh. I need some carnival music is what I need.
Sigue escuchando Colombian Trance.
Cansada de la... realiza...
Okay. This probably has something useful in here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So on this website, if you find any music you want to use, usually in the lower right corner down here, you'll see you got an MP3 right there. See how it says an MP3 right there? MP3 is a very common audio format, right? You guys remember the days of MP3, right? Remember Metallica fighting for the MP3? People are downloading our music. They were all mad about it. Remember that? So again, you can download right here an MP3. The easiest way to do it is to control click or right click on it, save link as, and choose your location. So again, just like you would download a picture, right? To download a picture, you control click or right click, save link as, same with a picture, same thing. Choose, and it's going to go to my folder. Now I have music. So I have music, I have pictures, and I have a title. Woo! All that work took us, half an hour to just do that. Wow. But now I'm ready. The video editing software I'm going to use is Premiere. It's right here. So I'll quickly go through making a... Let me pause my video here.